Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stuff You Should Know. Today I am talking with Dr. Stephanie Redd from Hart Chiropractic, and I don't say this lightly, working with her has been life-changing. My body has been more aligned than it's ever been, but even more than that, she's helped me uncover some things that my body was holding on to that I didn't even realize were affecting me. It's not mental therapy, but it is about understanding how everything is connected. And that perspective has helped me function at my best. I'm excited for you to hear this conversation. Let's jump in. First things first, why don't we just go ahead and start off? I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got to this focus of chiropractic treatment. Like I know that you're working with NET, which is I'll let you talk about what all that is,
Yeah,
but I'd love to get a little bit about a sense of how you got to where you are and why you got to where you are.
my origin story.
Your origin story, if you will.
So a lot of people think that I grew up going to a chiropractor, which I didn't. Um,
Okay.
I knew when I was going into my undergrad at Ohio State, I knew that I wanted to do something about health, rehabilitation, whether it was PT, OT, an exercise kinesiologist, something. But when I went to college, there's no pre-chiropractic degree. Okay. No one in my family is a chiropractor. No one went to a chiropractor. And so it's honestly just a happy coincidence. So I graduated and I said, what do I want to do? And so I worked at an inpatient hospital working with patients that had brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes.
Wow.
So you see these patients literally after the worst day of their life. Some of them are 50, some of them are 30, some of them are in their 70s, complete left side paralysis. Their speech impediment, it's blurred. They can't swallow, they can't eat. And so I worked alongside, like I said, PTs, OTs, and SLPs, speech language pathologists. I hated it.
Now, you were not doing chiropractic care. You
No,
what
I
were
was
in what
I had my bachelor's degree in health and rehabilitation science. What does
okay.
that mean? I need to go to school again. That is pretty much I need to go to school again. And so that's why I went there. It's like, okay, do I want to go into physical therapy? Do I want to go into occupational therapy, something a little bit different? And I was like, okay, the hospital setting is not for me. Um,
Okay.
so I did that for about 6 months, and I was there, and then I was also a bartender, and so I was like, I'm just gonna bartend, and I'm gonna go on Indeed. I went on Indeed, and I remember when I saw the job for a chiropractic assistant or office manager. Um, I remember exactly where I was when I spoke on the phone with the current office manager that was there, and she said, "Yeah, come on in. It's a chiropractic office." And I was like, "Okay, like never been to a chiropractor before." Um, and his name is Dr. Thomas Wieland. And when I tell you, I have said so many times that this man has changed the trajectory of my life. So I went into the office and he was like, "This is what we do here." Like, yeah, I do whole food supplements, as you can see here in the background. I was like, "What is a whole food supplement? Um, what are supplements? What?" Um, and I was like, "Okay, like pretty good pay, like easy, sure, why not?" From never seeing a chiropractor, not knowing what a whole food supplement was, 6 months to that day that I started, I applied at Life University.
Wow.
Saying it out loud, it honestly, yeah, wow. I would talk to patients. I'm a talkative person. They would be like, "Dr. Tom, he saved my life. He improved my life. He I wouldn't be here without him. My kids wouldn't be here without him." Like, amazing story again and again. And it is through chiropractic and whole food nutrition that this man could change the lives of these people. Um, I got on my first protocol, and I know exactly what 3 supplements that it was. My energy improved, my mental clarity, my sleep, my digestion. I just felt better. And I was like,
Mhm.
I have to go do this. There is no way that I can see the power of what this does and not go do it.
Wow. That's pretty
Uh,
powerful.
yeah, I honestly like saying it out loud. It's yeah. If people think again, I grew up with chiropractic. My sisters, no, nobody, not a single person. And so when I would talk to them about chiropractic care and the supplements, they'd be like, "What?" Like if you had a headache when I growing up, God bless my mom. I'm the youngest of four. If you have a headache, take some ibuprofen.
Right.
Um, if you have a stomach ache, I'm taking antacid. I don't know, Stephanie. What? Like there was nothing that ideally would resolve these issues except for just cover them up. Essentially, now that I look back on it, there was not everything wrong, but there was something wrong with that. And then it's like now I'm like, um, and so again, I was not raised in this mindset at all. So again, Dr. Tom is still my mentor. I was texting him last week, but what he does is he combines chiropractic care and whole food nutrition supplements.
Because it's all connected.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
He finds out why.
Hmm.
And kind of on the outside looking in, I truly didn't understand it. I just knew that it changed me and it changed other people. And I was like,
Right.
okay, it is up to like, let's go see what this is about. So I packed my life up and me and my dog and 500 miles moved south, started that life. And oh my goodness.
So you were still in Ohio when all that
Mhm.
when
Yeah, he's up in Ohio. So Dr.
okay,
Tom, yeah,
and he'd gone to Life University that's
he
down here.
started at Life University, but then he had to transfer to another chiropractic college. They had some accreditation issues.
Okay.
But when I was there in that time period before I had applied, he saw chiropractors and they all said, go to Life, go to Life, go check out Life. And
Yeah.
of course, Google and look, and it's in Georgia. It's nice down there. It's beautiful, beautiful campus. And I was like, okay.
That's awesome. So you basically just packed everything and your dog and
Yep. So
just started a
I
new life, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
I went on the Life University. They had a
Wow.
Facebook group. I found a roommate, moved in with her, and three
The
and a
rest
half
is history.
years of all I do is school. My
Yeah.
dad, my mom, my sisters are like, good luck. They didn't know, like, none of my family has a higher education. All of my family still lives in a 20-mile radius of each other in Columbus, Ohio. So me,
Okay.
higher education, moving down south, good luck. Like we're here to support you, but good luck.
You crazy girl. You crazy.
Kind
No.
of, yeah. But they believed in me more than anybody did. The person that believed in me was the same person that changed my life. Dr. Tom's like, you can do this. Like you are so smart, Steph. You are so smart. And I'm like, this man sees something in me that I don't.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that
So
you recognize that too, because
yeah,
sometimes we don't take that. We discount those that type of belief, I believe, I guess is the way to say that. It's imposter syndrome for some of us.
yeah, and that office manager that I was talking about, where I remember my conversation with her, Dr. Tom and her are coming to my wedding here in a few months. Like, and I've lived down here for 5 years. It's like I still have that relationship with those people because they had that big of an impact.
Right. Now, out of curiosity, when you said that that chiropractic care was not part of your growing up.
Mhm.
Was it ever, was there a reason it wasn't, or was it just not something that was offered up there, or just never came up, or was it kind of
It
like
just never came
dismissed?
up.
Okay.
And something that's funny is I was injured in high school. I had horrible low back pain. I remember sitting in my seat sophomore year, and I was a high school soccer player. I just remember I could barely sit in my chair without so much discomfort. Um, and so I ended up going to PT. Unfortunately, it didn't help. I was only
Hmm.
there for a few months, but unfortunately, no one around me, no one around my sister said, you should go see a chiropractor.
Right.
Nobody's, and they're up there. They are, as I've
Right.
learned, because I mean, when you buy a red car, you start seeing the red
Start
car.
seeing it. Yep.
There's so many there. And was I not meant to? I don't know. But when I was supposed to, and I honestly think it's a good thing because there
Hmm.
are so many different chiropractors, chiropractic approaches that I was meant to be so impacted by this kind of chiropractic that I didn't even consider the others.
God, and you're absolutely right. There are so many different approaches, which is one of
Mhm.
the things that I have so appreciated coming to you because your approach is so different from anyone that I've ever seen, which has been, I mean, and I'm just going to say that what you've done for me has been completely life changing. I mean,
Thank
it
you.
is unbelievable some of the things that have fallen into place or shifted back into place that have
Yeah.
made things like clarity. The I never really understood what the word clarity meant until now because it's like obvious stuff. Clarity is just I don't know. But it's
It's about listening to you, about your body, about what your body, you, Stephanie, what you need.
right.
It's like, do you need, like, I have patients where, will I do traditional chiropractic adjustments that you hear those loud bone cracking? Yes, I will. But sometimes that's not what the body needs. And so it's
Right.
like, it's up to me to be able to, one, listen, and two, respond that way. So it's just like someone could come in and they're super stressed and they're tight, and the chiropractor's like, well, let's see. And they'll adjust them. Will it probably feel good for the patient? Yeah. Will it going forward be as effective? Probably not.
Well, and I think it's also the attention.
Yep.
Really is the attention that you give to each person that comes in because you're going in to a closed room, first of all, which a lot of chiropractic offices, you're at a big office and there's table, 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 and there's no conversation happening. It's
Yeah.
how are you feeling? Crack, how's this? Boom, and then you're done.
Yep.
Like 5 minutes in and out.
Yep. Which that kind of chiropractic, I mean, I've heard obviously success stories. Um, you're moving bones, you're putting an input into the nervous system. Um, and you're creating a little bit of motion into the body where, yes, once you do point things out to the body, things start to restore, so you're getting somewhere. And so people ask, like, are you against that other chiropractic? I'm like, there's a time and a place, but that's just not what I want to do.
You're taking it like 8 steps
Mhm.
beyond, and that's what that is. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that you hear the happiness in people's voices and the things that people say when they stand up and talk about you. They people really enjoy coming to see you and receiving the what is it they call it? The woo-hoo, the
My woo
woo-woo.
woo. Yeah. And again,
Um,
what I offer in my personality and my jokes and my quirks, if for people it works, for the people that it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, and I've come to accept that. But for the
yeah.
people that are open minded and deal with it, and
Well, yeah.
then I can be effective. I'm not everyone's flavor. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But for the people that I am, I can make an impact, which is
So
kind of fun. It's
the quote on my Facebook is, "You're not a taco. You can't make everybody happy." And I think that it's okay that we don't make it, but the people we do make happy, we can make super happy. And
right.
we're looking for people who we can serve and
Right.
that want to be served. And that's not everybody. And
Mhm.
it's good to be able to recognize that not everybody wants the woo woo. Um, does everybody need the woo woo? Yes. Does everybody want it? No.
And that's what I tell people. And that, yes, the approach that I have is different, but there's a lot of times when people aren't ready for it. I'm like, hey, look, my well, if except for when I'm seeing patients, my door's closed and I'm seeing patients, it's open. I'm here when you need me. When
Right.
you are ready to take things a step further, I'm here.
And you know what? That is a 100% because you've got to be willing to recognize the pain.
Recognize,
because
yeah,
a lot of the
recognition.
pain is coming from mental or emotional or can be stemmed from that. And if you're not wanting to deal with that, then you, Dr.
Right.
Steph, are limited as to what you can do.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna jump into something that I didn't bring up in that in the pre-sheet, but you did not meet the psychologist or the therapist that came I think you were
I
gone.
was out of town.
Okay. I'm hoping she's going to come to the caucus next
Oh,
week. I had a follow up with her last week, and she works with folks who are had a major trauma. But she talks about. I mean, I have it recorded, and it was so fun. Every time she spoke, she said something that made me want to introduce you to her even more. It's like the things that you all are working on, it would be such a partnership, and I don't know if y'all could even work together because she's over by the airport, so I don't think you all would be seeing maybe the same people, but I
yeah.
would love to have you a conversation because she's dealing with the mental, like really digging into the mental part,
Yeah.
but also, and she brought this up herself, it's all connected. What's happening mentally is affecting us in other places in our bodies, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Dr.
Yeah.
Steph.
And I have to, with NET, with the neuro emotional technique, I have to see the patients in person because you engage the physiology, you
Right.
engage their body, you engage the organ or the spinal points that are associated with the organ that their body is trying to bring up and clear.
So that is really the meat of what I wanted to talk about today.
Mhm.
So let's just dive right into that because
Okay,
then we can pick apart when we need to. But
sure.
let's talk about your trip to California last 2 weeks
Let's.
ago. Yeah.
So, getting certified in neuro emotional technique pretty much is saying, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was
I
actually
had the certificate.
I think I told you. So the founder of neuroemotional technique, Dr. Scott Walker, so he founded the technique, I think early 90s. Amazing, brilliant man. His wife is also a teacher. She was my proctor because you have to make sure that you can verbalize. There are different steps of NET. And so she said, okay, let's see it.
Wow. Prove
So,
it.
like being in her presence, I was like, you and your husband have changed the lives of so many people.
Yeah. So golly, that's incredible.
Yeah. And they were there and they're wonderful people. But with last week or excuse me, a few weeks ago in California, so I understand NET. I understand it's a mind body technique. They've a really good way to say it, and I've been really thinking about this, is when something happens to you, whether you are 10 years old or 15 years old, and someone points and laughs at you because you have an accent, or your mom tells you, or your mom grounds you, whatever it is, when you were 10 years old and your mom grounds you, at that moment, that was the biggest thing in your mind. Like, it's not that big of a deal now, but when you were 10 years old, it was everything.
Right.
And
Right.
so, or when you were made fun of or ridiculed, that puts a little thorn in your arm. Okay.
Yep.
It hurts. Years go by and you kind of forget it's there, but it's still there. Um, and then there's another time when you're 20 years old and you go to speak and you have a little bit of a mumble and someone makes a funny face. That thorn that you had because when you were made fun of, it just goes a little bit deeper. And then when you're 30 and you're a successful doctor and you have to go up and speak in front of a group of people, why am I so nervous about this? Because your little 15, 20-year-old self, when they
Yeah.
opened their mouth, they were made fun of, they were put down, they were shamed, and so the body doesn't forget those moments. And that's where NET comes in. And what is it in your 30s that what are you so worried about? Is it embarrassment? Are you worried about disappointing someone? And so you can go back to that point when that first originated on that original thorn that was put into your skin. Is
Right.
that a good analogy? Does that make sense?
Well, absolutely. I have seen that manifest in myself. I mean, just without even realizing that's what you were doing. And our bodies do not like, what is it? The body.
The
keep
body keeps
score.
the score.
Yeah, and that is our minds give us the idea that we can do things, but we really have a very little control.
So
Our
it's
mind's a
funny.
lot stronger than we think.
So
Self-preservation.
in NET, they talk about the three brains. You have a reptilian brain, a mammalian brain, and then your neocortex, which is your reasoning brain. So that mammalian brain, that is your emotions. Okay.
Okay.
That is the part of your brain that fires the fastest. Because when you have a response and you're like, oh, if you walk into a room and you see somebody that you don't like, oh, whatever, I'm over it. I thought I was, but your limbic brain fired first before your reasoning brain.
Yeah.
That's why emotions come up before, like, wait, why did I react like that? I thought I was over it. No, you're not.
Right.
And then that reptilian brain, that's our survival. So a lot of people forget that the things we say, the things we do it to survive. And whether that's because it's shutting our mouth or keeping things quiet, because if I would speak up, I would get grounded and I couldn't eat, whatever it was. And then you have your neocortex, you have your reasoning brain. And
Hmm.
so those three brains are all having an impact.
Yeah. And sometimes they work against each other. But that
Yeah,
self-preservation piece
they
is,
can. They really
yeah,
can. It's like,
yeah.
do I need to think logically? Do I need to survive? Or do I need to freak out? You know what I mean?
Well, right. Now, with what you're doing, when you recognize that there it has been trauma and
Mhm.
you're able to kind of pinpoint where that trauma is, whether it was a emotional, well, we'll go with the emotional trauma
Yeah.
because if you're able to address the physical part of it, what do you do? Is there a point where you can only do so much on the emotional side or the psychological side that then you would refer to someone, or like how is,
How
because
do how do
it
we
crosses the line with therapy and like mental therapy and chiropractic therapy. So tell me about that line and how
That's
that's.
actually a really good point. So, what NET, because typically the sessions are about 15 to 30 minutes, what
Mhm.
really helps the person is when you are able to see what emotion it is, what emotion and where it started from. Because once you can identify the emotion, oh my goodness, it's shame, it is embarrassment. And then you can allow your body to think it through. And then you go to your therapist and you can elaborate more on that. So you kind of give a little bit more you give a little bit of clarity, you kind of push them along a little bit.
It's sort of like a bizarre, or I don't know. I kind of feel like it's like a hypnosis kind of where you're sort of
You're
you're
so engaged, it's like you are
right,
so engaged and so aware.
that you're able to figure out, like identify that emotion so that you can then start
Talk
chipping
about it and
away.
yeah,
Right.
and try and yes, work it out with the therapist of explaining, okay, now that I honestly, wow, I do have so much shame around this. Okay,
Now I can go talk to, now I know what to talk about. It's like you're
you're kind of
identify.
it's like kind of funnel it, you help funnel a little bit.
Right, right. That's yeah, because I know that there have been times where I feel like I'm going a little bit deeper in what I like when I've been on your table and we'll talk about things and I feel like I'm crossing the line of therapy, like mental therapy and
Well,
physical therapy, or
it's so important. And I had a patient that I didn't even do NET with, but their body, you can just feel this, you can just feel the stress. And so I was what's going on? And so with them talking about things, and this is a point that I made to Natasha, our massage therapist. I'm like, I know that some people want to just sit and be in their own thoughts when they're getting a massage, but engaging the physiology while you're talking about the emotions, it really does help. Whether because you hold so much tension in your shoulders, my husband is working too much, and then you start working the areas and you're like, you're both relaxing the brain and the body, thinking about getting, like, how good does it feel to get things off of your chest, literally?
Yes,
And so
literally. Yeah.
there are so many sayings that we have where it's like emotions in your body are connected. I have butterflies in my stomach or heavy on my chest. So it's just like because of a stressful situation. So it's like we really need to think about those sayings. It's just like they do mean something.
Right. Like a
They
gut
mean
feeling, having a gut feeling
gut
about something.
feeling, exactly. There's a reason why your body reacts when you think.
And that's, I think I brought this up to you as far as with, along with leadership and how when you are not in line, when you haven't taken care of yourself, your leadership is, you're growing in different ways. You're not
Right.
aligned and the clarity's not there.
Right.
And if you are, yeah, oh, I mean, it's
Well, it's
being able to,
it's almost like being grounded, kind of. It's just like how, if you are so ungrounded, if you are so just out there with yourself, if you have low self-esteem, how are you supposed to lead somebody and say you need to do this when you can't even direct it back at yourself?
right,
You
right.
know, if you can, kudos.
Well, but
Hard.
and I love the grounded in wellness because that's Natasha's
Excuse me.
her company's name.
Shout out
And
Natasha.
hi Natasha. But that is, and I did this past open enrollment feel very grounded in wellness because I didn't try to ignore things because you can try to ignore, but it's not
And they're
pulling.
there. They're gonna stay and they're going to. It's so
Yes.
interesting. Things can physically manifest in the body, and that's what NET is truly. It's all about. Is
Yeah.
is that thorn can make an impact on so many systems, and with NET, it's that like cures like type of healing. The same thing with
Yeah.
homeopathies. The same thing with honestly with vaccines and with snake venom and whatever it is. It's like with NET, you have to kind of go back to where it started. You have to relive it. You have to bring it up so the
Yeah.
body can recognize it and clear it. The same thing with a little bit of that venom and anti venom because your body needs to recognize it.
Yeah. I never thought, but I mean, vaccines are the live virus that go
Yeah.
after.
Mhm.
Wow, I never
And
really
so your
thought about it
body
that
can
way.
build up that resiliency to it.
Yeah.
And that's why my sprays are so effective is because they're a homeopathy, which
Well, yes.
that ER 911, I had a patient, she said, "What is in that?" And so we went and we looked at all of the active ingredients, and you can go online and look at the active ingredients. They're actually a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers known for anti-inflammatory, to help with anti-anxiety. It's literally so think about it, if I would take a dandelion flower or um what's another one, like a stinging nettle, I think that's what it's called. um
A rose hip.
I yeah, sure, or lavender, whatever.
Yeah.
um you take one part of that flower and you titrate it down with 9 parts water, so we have 10 parts, 1 and 9. Okay,
Hmm.
goes dilutes. We do that 12 times to make that NET spray. That's why it's so gentle. That's why kids can have it, adults can have it. It's because it's so titrated and watered down that just it's again same for that venom. You don't want too much venom, but just
Right.
enough for the body to understand it. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if you watched any of the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
but the amount of pill pushing that I saw on that during the commercials, pill pushing and shot pushing. That's all that I saw. I mean, there was a couple other things, but it's like our society's trying to cover up the things that are going on with us versus recognizing and moving
Mhm.
through.
It's
And I
about
think,
asking why. It's about why am I tired? Why is this organ dysfunctioning, malfunctioning? Why isn't my body working the way that God so handpickly smartly made for us? The power that made the body heals the body. Our body is so smart,
right,
but it can't do what it was meant to do with so many interferences with all of the
artificial
stress, the
interferences.
trauma. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you ask what is affecting this human? What is preventing their body from healing? And it could be the stress, it could be toxins, or it could be structural. And that's what I do.
Which is to me, a much more authentic approach than just prescribing something and hoping someone's going to get
I
better.
don't want to be a
You're
fan.
treating
Yeah,
it's treating symptoms. And we talk about
exactly.
triggers. Everyone's triggered about this, or not everyone.
Mhm.
I don't want to downplay that, because that is it. And I know I have my triggers. I call them
We
different
all,
things.
yep,
But if we don't fix that piece, that trigger is always going to be there.
it's always going to be there.
And if you it it's a yeah, it's
It
a different chiropractic. This type of chiropractic approach is just so different that it can't even be equated to your normal, what people think chiropractic care is.
I do. There is it's 60 minutes. It is a amazing documentary that the founders and some of my teachers, it's called Stressed. If you look it up on YouTube, Stressed documentary. It has cartoons. It's professional, but it's so easy to follow, and they just explain NET and stress in the body so well. And that's the Stressed documentary.
Okay. Distressed or stressed?
Stressed.
Okay. Um, for those of you watching, I'll put a link of that in the in the description.
But
Um,
last week or a few weeks ago, I want to go back. um,
well, San Diego
what
too.
they really dove into though was how much both short-term and long-term stress affect our brain. Short-term stress is okay. It is a good thing. It's when that person pulls out in front of us, we need to respond. I need my adrenals to release the
Mhm.
epinephrine so that I can respond quick, like I can respond quickly and see anything else that might be of danger. But then
Right.
when that stress is so chronic that your body, that's what it gets used to. That's the new norm. That's when it releases cortisol and insulin. You do not want insulin. You want your insulin to be sensitive. We do not want insulin sensitivity. Then that goes
Mm,
into blood sugar and heart rate and blood pressure. And so
yeah.
long-term stress, it affects our well-being, it affects our immune system, our digestion, it affects our endocrine, it affects our hormones. And they dove into that, and I was like, oh,
Well, they're even attributing that to arthritis and even diabetes. Well, arthritis is a form of diabetes, isn't it? No, no, no. It's Alzheimer's is a form of diabetes. And they're attributing a lot of stress to Alzheimer's and all of
it's
its,
that yeah, it's that
yeah,
insulin sensitivity that they are just, and so the blood sugar gets super super sweet, and that is the last thing that we want. We
right.
want the person to be sweet, but we don't want them. We have to watch that, and then yes, that's where diabetes come in. That's where
Yeah,
literally, yeah, type
yeah,
2, type 2. Type
right,
1 you can't do, unfortunately, but that's where type 2 diabetes can come from. Yes,
right. Oh, gosh. Well,
it's unbelievable. Yeah. Ah, are you learning things?
all kinds of things.
Good.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to sharing this as well. No, no, no. Okay. So this is one of the questions that was on here because I'd love to know how we can help you.
Okay.
I know that how long have you been practicing? Have you been on your own practicing?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or have you looked that far ahead other than being married?
Yeah, it's so hard to look past into 2027 because this year I have a
You
wedding
got a lot of stuff going
in
on.
October and a honeymoon and all of that. Somebody asked me, so I'm obviously with Heart Chiropractic. I have my own practice. Like this is mine. I don't have my own building, my own space. But
Hmm.
do I have any plans of leaving Heart Chiropractic? Absolutely no, I don't.
Okay.
It
Well,
is um
And you heard that
It's a
part. No.
it's a family here, Dr. Rob. So how I ended up at this office was the same way that I met Dr. Wieland. It was truly by chance, kind of by accident. And
There are no accidents.
the man is officiating my wedding. My office manager went dress shopping with me. They're my family, and we all compliment each other. They believe in me. I like it is. I don't see myself because
Well,
they're a resource. They're a resource too. It's like, hey, Dr. Rob, what do you think about this? Like, what do you
sure.
think about this person? Because you're better with shoulders than I am. He had a bunch of shoulder injuries, so he honed in on shoulders like I
Yeah.
never did. I honed in on neuroemotional technique like he never did. So
So as far as where it is, are there any, do you want to do like to get into
there are techniques
speaking engagements? Are you wanting to do more education type
more.
of?
Yes, there are a few more techniques that I want to get into.
Okay.
There's a technique called quantum neurology that is um, more diving into the brain. Obviously, some functional neurology. Dive more into that. There's a few techniques that I really want to dive a little bit more into.
Okay.
Um, with quantum neurology, you look at I muscle test. I look at a lot of different nerve innervations, but this is like a dive.
Okay.
So more brain stuff I would
Okay.
love to get into. How I practice with applied kinesiology and looking, I will never shy away from this approach. Will I
Right.
add more tools to my toolbox? 1,000%. There's no way that you.
Yeah, I mean that's just evolution right there. You got to keep moving or
Mhm.
keep, yeah. So who are some folks that you want to be connected with? Who are some, it, I don't know if it's patients or if there are other professionals that you want that you'd like to have a connection to or that you're looking to
Oh, of
form
course. Um,
teams
I
with
think
or
personal trainers are a really good one.
okay.
Personal trainers, gyms. I haven't really dove into athletes, like high school athletes. Maybe not quite yet. We'll see. I feel like my kind of sweet spot is probably women about my age, so in their 30s,
Okay.
up to people in their 70s. Women that they just don't feel good. They don't have energy. Their digestion is horrible.
Hmm.
As a chiropractor, I cannot tell anybody to stop a medication. I will never say, but if somebody comes to me, can you work with my doctor to help me get off this anxiety medicine? I want to stop my birth control. Can you help support my body through these changes? Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's those people that I love being it sounds weird. I love to be people's last resort.
It
Where
is a strange, yeah,
they're at the end of the road and they're like, "Well, I got to try something." I'm like, "You were meant to be here when you're here."
right.
I'm like,
Well, that's how you got here.
let's change your life."
Yeah,
Because they've tried all other options and they see they didn't work.
right.
So we got to try something different. If you do the same thing again and again and expect change, let's
Yeah.
try something different. And luckily for me, I'm the woo woo, I'm the different. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
See what we can.
What is there a call to action you would like to leave for folks? Anything that you think people need to hear or need to do? What is something that if you could give a recommendation to the audience here?
Oh,
Hi, audience.
hopefully you cut out the time that I'm taking to think about this. Oh man, your body is so smart. Whatever you believe in, whatever if it was God that created you, however it was, you were so beautifully and powerfully made that your body knows what to do. It just needs the right help. And I say to patients, it's so unbelievable when you feed the body, when you get rid of what's preventing it from healing, it starts to heal. It can actually be that simple. Are there complicated cases? Yes. But when you get rid of what's preventing your body from healing it and supporting it, it does amazing things. It is so smart. It wants to work. It wants to digest your food properly. It wants you to have energy. It wants you to be able to wake up with mental clarity. But there's something that is throwing it off, and you just have to figure out why. And it
Well,
could be a number of reasons, but if you really want to make a change, then you've got to do something that's different.
and I think that that's one of the things that you definitely bring is giving people a place to start as far as where to start focusing on chipping away at the getting the clarity in.
Peel back the
Peel
layers
that
of the
out. You
onion.
can't do it. You can't do it all at one time. Right.
Yep. And
Yeah.
the last thing that I want to do in terms of chiropractic and the nutrition, which is the whole food supplements, is the last thing I want to do is overwhelm your system. I want to meet it where it's at
Mm-hmm.
and complement it step by step. And another thing that is the assembly line. Where in the assembly line are we getting thrown off?
Right.
If things are breaking down at step 3, I don't want to blame step 2. It's like I want to pinpoint exactly where the malfunction is, exactly where the things are going wrong.
Right.
It's about pinpointing and being exact and not overwhelming your system. It's peeling back the layers of the onion and getting you exactly where you're at.
And to that point about not overwhelming your system, I know that there have been times where just like a small little doop made all the difference in the world. And I think sometimes we overstretch or overdo things and we
It could be as
realize,
simple as an acupuncture point where that person needed to, oh wow, okay. The energy can flow into
right,
into my lungs, into my diaphragm. Oh, I can breathe because we release an acupuncture point. And acupuncture is a very complicated system, but
but if you're releasing if those nerves are now
open,
working
if the
properly,
energy
then
can flow, yes.
and
Then
that's where that clarity starts. I mean, it literally, it's so people, I think sometimes clarity gets a little overused, like, oh, I'm
yeah.
so in tune with everything. It's more that all of a sudden things that you hadn't thought about start coming, like there's new thoughts and new ways of thinking and new approaches that seem available in your head. And I think it, again, I can't even imagine what the map of a human body looks like with all the nerves and all the things, but it's such an intricate
There's layers. There are
landscape.
layers.
I mean, it's fascinating. It is fascinating how we are built
Honestly,
and
it
how we
is.
heal.
At
Yeah,
nothing works in isolation. Let me say that again.
right.
Nothing in your body works in isolation. I looked right into the camera. I hope you post that.
Did you hear that?
I
Yeah,
wasn't talking to
it's
you,
all a
Stephanie. I was
system.
talking to our viewers. Everything
Well, it's
is
like a car. If
connected.
you got a tire on a car that's not working right, the rest of the car is going to be wonky. Like if your pieces aren't working, it's not going to work. So,
Yep.
or you just start working and you'll be doing this. And yeah, I feel like there are so many
Awareness.
analogies. And you brought up plants. I mean, or we talked about flowers, and there's so many herbs and
Mhm.
flowers in these things, and how there's so much we can learn from our
Things
stress. We can learn about stress, we
so
can
simple. It's like,
environment.
yeah, I gave somebody 2 herbs, 2 plants, and it can change your system. It doesn't have to be complicated. But what it has to be is tailored to you. So what I give to you, what I do for you is going to be
Right.
completely different than your neighbor, your friend, your sister, your mom, whatever. It's because it's for you.
Yeah, that's right. Because we're all unique. We're snowflakes.
Where am I?
All right. So do you have what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I have Miley. I wanted Miley to say hi. Come here. Ah, come here.
Oh,
Ah, my treat.
so Dr. Steph has an assistant that comes in.
Come here. Ah. Oh my goodness gracious.
Is she camera shy?
Yes, she is very camera shy.
Hello.
That's okay. She's
Oh,
looking at my
so
graph.
sweet.
If anybody wants to reach me, email is going to be preferred just because you
Okay.
can list out all wherever you're dealing with. If you have questions, I can explain and then we can go from there. We can set up a phone call.
Okay.
I do a
All
free
right.
15-minute phone conversation and we can go over symptoms, goals, anything like that. And I know a lot of people have questions because, yes, what I do is very different.
Okay. And you are accepting new patients at this point? Just making sure. All right. Well, is there anything that is, do you want to leave? Do you have a quote that you'd like to share is there anything a quote that you'd like to live by?
The power that made the body heals the body. But wait, let me think of a good one.
That sounds pretty good.
What do I like to say? I'm pausing for dramatic effect. Yes, the power that made the body heals the body. That sometimes we just need to give it the resources that it needs in order to perform at its highest function.
Awesome. Well said.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for
I'm
your
going to
time
do more
today. And I look
interviews like
forward.
this.
Yes. Well,
So
we are
fun.
going to be doing more of them because I'm going to be doing more interviews with people.
And we just scratched the
Yeah,
surface on emotion. We didn't even really get into the whole food supplements.
that's part two.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Plenty of things to talk about. So for sure. All right. Well,
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
yes, thank you.
You are
All right, everyone.
lovely.
Dr. Steph with Hart Chiropractic. Woo woo.